Hi, good morning, my dear students in MAPI. I am your teacher, Mr. Henry Carey. Our first objective, describe distinctive musical elements of given pieces in 20th century styles. Our first quarter topic, music of 20th century. To start with, the 20th century rise of distinct musical styles that reflected a move away from conventions of early classical music. These new styles were Impressionism, Expressionism, Neoclassicism, avant-garde music, modern nationalism, primitivism, electronic music, and chance music. Let's focus first in Impressionism. What is Impressionism? Impressionism is made use of whole tone scale. It is also applied suggested rather than depictive reality. It created a mood rather than definite picture. It had a translucent and hazy texture, lacking a dominant tonic relationship. It made use of overlapping chord with fourth, fifth octaves and nine intervals, resulting in non-traditional harmonic order and resolution. Now, we will go first with the proponents. Our first proponent, which is the main proponent of this Impressionism, our topic, born on August 22, 1962 in France. He is the most important and influential composer of the 20th century. He was the primary exponent of the Impressionism composers. He changed the course of musical development by dissolving traditional rules and convention into a new language, possibility in harmony, rhythm, form, and color. The second one of the Impressionism proponents, we have Joseph Maurice Ravel. Born in France, he entered the Paris Conservatory at the age of 14, where he studied with eminent French composer Gabriel Fauré. The compositional style of Ravel is mainly characterized by the uniquely innovative but not a tonal harmony treatment. Let's go with the short comparative styles of Debussy and Ravel. First, Debussy more spontaneous and liberal in form, casual in portrayal of visual imaginary. Ravel more on classical norm of musical structure and compositional craftsman, more formal and exacting in the development of this motive visual. Next, Expressionism. Expressionism revealed the composer's mind. Instead of presenting an impression of environment, it used a tonality and the 12-tone scale, lacking stable and conventional harmonies. It serves as medium of expressing strong emotions such as anxieties, rage, and alienation. We have proponent Arnold Schoenberg, born in Vienna, Australia on September 13, 1974. His style was constantly undergoing development from the early influence of Wagner. His tonal preference gradually turned to the dissonance and atonal as he explored of the choral harmonies. Igor Stravinsky, born in Russia on June 27, 1882. His early composition reflected the influence of his teacher, Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov, a Russian composer. The Firebird Suite, his first successful masterpiece for the Ingvar Ballet. Next, primitivism. Primitivistic music is tonal through the asserting of one note as more important than the others. New sounds are synthesized from old ones by just posing too simple. Even to create more complex new event, primitivism has linked to exotism through the use of material from other cultures, nationalism to the use of materials indigenous to specific countries, and ethnicism through the use of materials from European ethnic group. Bartok. Bela Bartok was one of the classic composers of the 20th century, the greatest Hungarian composer beside the Liszt. As an automusicologist, he together with Kodaly laid the foundation for the collection of Hungarian folk music. With Romanian and Slovak collection, Bartok placed the nation in an early stage context of music folklore. Neoclassicism was a partial return to a classical form of creating music with carefully modulated dissonances. It made use of Fleur's seventh note diatonic scale. Serge Prokofiev, a Russian composer, finished his symphonies in 1952, written for young listeners at the end of tragic, repressive Stalinist era. It is also criticized as simplistic. Francis Jean Marcel Poulenc, member of the group of young French composers known as Les Six. He rejected the heavy romanticism of Wagner and the so-called imprecision of Debussy and Ravel. His composition and coolly elegant modernity, tempered of classical sense of proportion, Poulenc was also fond of the witty approach of Satie, as well as early neoclassical works of Stravinsky. Poulenc was a successful composer for piano, voice, and choral music. Avant-garde. Avant-garde style was associated with electronic music and dealt with the parameter of dimensions of sound in space. It made use of variation of self-contained note groups to change musical continuity and improvisation with an absence of traditional rules on harmony, melody, and rhythm. George Gershwin. Gershwin came from a family of Russian Jewish immigrants. Also, the family was not musical inclined. George showed an interest in music when he was about 10. In 1918 and 1919, his works began appearing in Broadway productions. Naputol na yun. Leonard Bernstein. Born in Musical, USA, he endeared himself to his many followers as a charismatic conductor, pianist, composer, and lecturer. His big break came when he was asked to substitute for the ailing Bruno Walter in conducting the New York Philharmonic Orchestra in a concert on November 14, 1943. His philosophy was that the universal language of music is basically a tonality. Philip Glass. He explored the theories of ballet, opera, theater, film, and even television jingles. His distinctive style involves cell-like phrases emanating from bright electronic sounds, from the keyboard that processes very slowly, from one pattern to the next in a very repetitious fashion. Modern nationalism. Loses from 20th century music, development focus in nationalist composer and musical innovator who sought to combine modern techniques with folk materials. Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov infused chromatic harmony and incorporated Russian folk music and liturgical chant in their thematic materials. Electronic music. Music that uses the tape recorder is called music concrete or concrete music. The composer record different sounds that are heard in the environment such as bustle of traffic, the sound of the wind, the barking of the dog, the strumming of guitars, or the cry of an infant. We have the proponent, Edgar Varese. Edgar Victor Varese was a French music composer who spent a larger part of his life in USA. He is known for the sonic experimentation and immense passion for electronic instrument. Because of his talent for music and keen interest in research and experiment with taped music, Varese is regarded as the most innovative composer of this time. He emphasized on Julian Stockhausen, born in Cologne, Germany. Stockhausen music was initially met with resistance due to its heavy atonal content with practically no clear melodic or synthematic chance music. Style wherein the piece always sound different of very performance because of the random techniques of production, including the use of ring modulators or natural elements that become a part of the music. Most of the sound emanates from the surroundings, both natural and man-made, such as honking cars, rustling leaves, blowing wind, dripping water, or a ringing phone. We have the proponent, John Cage. He challenged the very idea of music by manipulating musical instrument in order to achieve new sound. He experimented with what came to be known as chance music. Okay, here are the some of the masterpiece of these composers. You can see that in your screen. Try to pick some or one of those if you have, if you can, to further more study of the styles. Thank you for watching. Hope this will help you. Ayos.